Hello, folks. My name is Neil. My pronouns are he, him, and welcome to Fey Earth, an indie TTRPG set in an alternate 19th century Earth where all the creatures from folklore and fairy tale are real, have always been real, and live alongside humanity. Our game is set in the year 1872 in Paris, where our band of heroes, well, are generally busy trying not to die. But enough about that. How about one of our players give us a recap of our last session?
Uh, who wants to?
Come on, Justine. No?
All right. Okay. So we
I don't need the
were.
dice.
Sorry. Okay. So we went back to Madame Gautier's. Well, sorry. First, we went up to the Baron's dead body, looted the hell out of it, took everything. Then we noticed Gwyn was gone, and then took the body, drove a stake through the heart because Madame Gautier had basically obliterated a pew yeeting it at the barn. So we used one of the shards of wood from that and cut off his head, popped him into the luggage compartment of her fancy carriage, booked it back to Madame Gautier's house using the shadow jumping spell, so Mina puked a lot. We then popped the body into the furnace and divvied out the stuff. So the party has now has some really cool magical items. It was decided that Sylvia would get the ring of the worm, which grants her immunity to fire and poisons, and she can choose to release 80 points of fire damage as a minor action. Then there was Ring of Alicorn. That means you can know if poison is within within 15 meters of you, and you are basically immune to all magical and non-magical poisons and venoms. There was also the sword, and then the really cool bag, which we don't know. It's basically a silver disc. Aminata was not well at all, had a bit of a kind of cry and freak out with Justine. Still no sign of Gwen. Sylvia sent her a letter, went back to the hotel, and Sylvia did a bit of healing, and that was kind of where we left off, wasn't it?
Yes, so you get 1d8 inspiration die that you can use at any stage during the game. Okay, so you all have a night's rest in the fabulous hotel. This will be your last. That was your last night there. Realistically, you'll be checking out now. The Baron dead. You don't need to worry. You can go back to your previous addresses, and you have a fabulous breakfast. Yeah, I guess you can discuss what your plan is today.
Okay. Well, I would like to travel back to the Tronçais forest to Saint Moraine for her solar grenade, which helped us. But I'm also going to travel into the town. I want to buy her a gift. I was thinking some perfume. I said this last night. Madame Gautier gave me some very good information on a perfumery to visit, so I'm going to go there. I am also going to make her a wreath. And when I come back, I will have plenty of arcane power to heal everybody, because I know all of us are still very injured. But that is all I was going. Oh, and I need to meditate a lot as well. And I need to write to my brother and make sure that he knows I am not dead. The letter I wrote him yesterday was quite ominous, because I did think that we were possibly going to die. So
Yeah, we
Yeah,
all
you
did.
probably don't want to leave him hanging for too long on.
No.
Yeah, I get the feelings that most of your letters were fairly final.
Market final.
Yeah.
During the war, yeah, and there was also a gap after the war, so I don't want to do that again. So yeah, I do need to do that.
Okay. So you have sort of a day on the town for a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, it is
Are
going
you-
to take me some time to get to the forest and back. So, but first I need to go into the town to. I do want to buy some nice perfume for her, because she is a fancy lady, and you know.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know if she even likes perfume, but I'm hoping that.
I think when it comes to these things, it's mostly the thought that counts.
I hope so.
You know.
She is
I
also terrifying, so there is that.
Yeah, I have met her for maybe half of an hour, and I am stricken with concern at seeing her again.
Well, at least the first time we met her, she was not expecting us. So, an elf's
Is that better?
an elf's aura of power is it feels like being
Kind
kicked
of
by a
walked into
horse.
her place. Yeah.
Well, she let us in because I
Yeah,
think
she
if
did,
she
but
hadn't,
we were just walking in, then we're like, oh hi. It was kind of funny. But her cheese platter is amazing.
yeah,
Oh, that is compelling, I will say.
But what I think is the funniest is Mina was at first, we should not eat anything,
You shouldn't eat anything from a fake, but
Yeah,
the cheese
Yeah,
is
but
one,
you
actually.
did not see the dinner that she served us, so
Oh yeah. And the cheese, I swear. Oh,
you read stories of temptations such as this. Clearly, you're fine for it, though. So, I guess stories are just stories sometimes.
Well, what about the rest of you, though?
I need to do my
I should
arcane
probably
research.
go back to my boxing organizer to tell them that I am back.
You also need to go and
So-
see if you can get your room back.
I do actually.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
You've been gone about a month or so, I think. I can't remember. Well, it's. I have it recorded exactly, but it's been about a month. Certainly.
About a month, you say?
Yeah, at least a month.
Yeah, no, I
maybe.
got back to her and asked her if she's, I mean, I think a month I would have stayed, but if it was more than a month, I would have told her to, find somebody else.
Yeah.
But I have to see it. I should be okay. But like, go and say hello to her as well. She'd probably be worried. Yeah. Oh, Justine, I heard you've become an ordained warrior of the church.
Justine was just getting really awkward, and she's like, "Who told you that?"
I heard that. So, that is amazing. So maybe we should go and offer thanks for our victory.
Yeah, because Justine is like relieved because she almost expected Mina to like ask her to go to church or something, and Justine, she hasn't found God yet, and
Was yet.
That's actually quite a good idea. So and you've met the Archbishop, so maybe you could introduce me.
I'm sure I could. If you
Oh,
like.
and Mina, the archives are also quite impressive as well.
Yeah, that'd be
Yes.
something to maybe write home, see what we have, what kind of information we have on various creatures. Yeah, be interesting to kind of explore.
But before we go anywhere, I want to do my arcane research.
Okay.
So I need a couple of
nice.
hours on my own.
4 hours.
You do that.
Well, I suppose
But
that
I feel-
if Mina's Frau Mina's going with you to the Archbishop, that gives her time to go to this boxing group.
Yeah. If you want to come along, you can. I did a fight in the catacombs before I left. That was very interesting.
Are firearms allowed?
No, it's really a kind of boxing, bear boxing, like
Right, yeah.
bad hand
Well,
boxing. It was quite interesting actually, and the fighting style is amazing. So I would like to kind of learn a bit more there. So
if I attempted to, put up the dukes with people, it would be bad for me, particularly me. I appreciate the invite though. Firearms are where I shine.
Mina,
but the catacombs are very interesting. It's a lot of bones down there. So
I suppose the spectacle of it
Fascinating place.
could be interesting.
Mm.
I'm sure.
don't tell me you're planning to go back to this awful place, Mina.
The boxing, of course. Do you know,
would you do
you can
that?
learn a lot. Like there was this one guy, he was an amazing fighter, and I was trying to talk to him, but he got ushered away. So before I could talk to him, because I would really like to ask him if he could spar with me and if I could learn a few things, because some people are really like the way they use their feet as well, and I'd be like, oh wow, I really kind of want to learn that, So the more you do, the more you box, and the more you fight, the more you learn, and that's always always interesting.
Well,
It's something I'm
Mina,
interested in. So
it's on a Friday, yeah. So
it's on a Friday, so I just missed it.
I will make sure that I have enough arcane power when you come back, and I can just heal you. Provided it's
Can you
Can't
just
be
not
worse
learn
than
it
what
from
I
us?
already have, but she's kind of pointing at the left side
I
of the
can
face.
heal whatever injuries she gets.
But
It will
it's
be
usually a
fine.
broken nose or something, but nothing.
Yeah, I
interesting.
can heal a broken nose. Though one thing that there is one thing, Mina, that you did miss. We found Montclerc. He is in Paris.
He's in Paris again.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch Mina up with the whole thing where we followed him to his warehouse, the whole thing with Vega, the fire glove, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Mina, if you were to go into these rings, there is a risk that you could face people with these arcane enhancements. So that is something to be aware of. But again, I can heal
I would
you.
have to ask to the organizer there, to the boss, if there's some people there, like he would know. But you can see Mina kind of clenching her fists, like trying
We
to
shouldn't
kind of
go
stay
alone,
calm.
Mina. That's so dangerous.
I do think we should deal with Montclerc, but not today or for a while, because we need to recover from.
Honestly, we need to stop him. But at the same
I
time,
agree.
I feel like I don't know what to do about him, because it's if I just go and kill the guy, it's not gonna change what happened to my brother.
But at least he can't hurt anyone else.
I know.
And the people whose lives he has destroyed, they have been avenged. He needs to die for what he has done. Those soldiers paid for the war with their bodies, their minds. It's like he took their souls as well, as if it wasn't enough, Some man decided he needed more power, and he's going to take it using people he sees as lower than him, just like they do in in the army and everything else. You can see Sylvia is like her face is getting quite flushed. She's getting very agitated.
Yeah, you can see Mina kind of like army and anything else. She's kind of army adjacent, so she's kind of like just a little flicker. And then she goes, I have to think about how to handle this. Like, he has to be stopped and he has to pay for what he's done, but I'm not quite sure how Because as I say, just killing him is not going to bring my brother back.
You have your brother.
Yeah, but it's not It's not going to undo what has been done to him. So I'm not sure how I would like to handle this.
Okay.
Let me think about it anyway.
Okay. Well, I need to go, but I have an arcanogram, so if there is an emergency, I can be reached on that. Also, Vin was the one with the arcanogram, so you will find a way, I'm sure.
I need to go and buy one of these pens that I can just write to you guys. Actually, I'll probably do that. I'll pop into Madame's and buy one of them things. And
So Sylvia's gonna go at this point. Before I leave, I'm gonna very quickly write a letter to Heinrich. Well, I'm gonna check my arcanogram first, see if there's any messages.
Now, I just to clarify this, like it's relatively early. It's maybe about 9:30 in the morning, and you know the way it works is the message that you sent via arcanogram went to an arcanogram in the barracks offices.
Yeah.
They would have transcribed that letter, and then it would have been delivered to Heinrich, and then he would have had to write his reply and gave it to them. But that, like, if they've shut their office for the evening, then it might, there's that army bureaucracy, meaning that
bit of a delay. That's what you're trying to say. Yeah.
You're probably not going to get anything back till maybe noon at the earliest. Just because of bureaucracy,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna fire him off a message anyway.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to delay him worrying. I don't want to drag it out.
But Neil is right. I mean, those people do have their fire open when they finished. On time.
Yeah. Would they be open on Saturday though?
I mean,
Watch and go.
I
don't know.
You were in the army. There would be always somebody on post at the arcanogram, so any messages that come in are transcribed and sent to whoever they need to be sent to. But there's not necessarily the services for replies. Usually on the weekends, it's only incoming post that's received from those offices. Cool. So if you send Heinrich another letter, he should get it today, but he might not be able to reply to you till Monday, maybe.
Oh, you need to.
Yeah. Oh no, that's absolutely fine. I'm not just writing to him so I'll get a reply. I'm writing to him so he's not worrying about me.
Yeah, exactly. So the army makes a point of ensuring that soldiers get their post, they get their mail.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I am going to write to him.
Yeah, they're not as fastidious about getting the replies from the soldiers out.
So I sent you that letter. I don't know if you want me to read it
out. Would you like to read it out?
I don't know. I had to see. I didn't read out the other letter I sent, but I'll read out this one. I don't know.
If you want to.
Okay. Dear Heinrich, I'm so sorry to be only writing to you now. I hope that you weren't too worried. Last night, when everything was over, we were just so shattered by it all. We almost lost Justine and Aminata, but all of us survived. He was an incredibly skilled caster and moved too fast for us, but with luck and some powerful magical items that manifested sunlight, we were able to kill him. He had some very powerful magical items himself, which we took. So now I have a ring that means I'm immune to fire and poison. Can you imagine? I can't stop wishing that I had had it in the war. Maybe I could have saved her. Maybe I could have saved myself. It's going to take us some time to recover from this, I think, especially Aminata. She is someone who always saw herself as in control and knowing what to do. But we both know how quickly this can change. But Gwen is missing now. During the battles, this Baron managed to reverse gravity, and in the chaos that ensued, she climbed out of a window. None of us have seen her since. I sent a message to her on my arcanogram, but there was no reply. At the time, I thought maybe she had gone to her lover to seek comfort, as she was almost killed in the initial strike. The problem is none of us have the means to find her. She can locate people with her magics, but none of us have that power. She's just disappeared. I'm so afraid for her. I don't want her to think that we think badly of her for running. The battle was terrible, and I would never judge anyone for losing their courage for obvious reasons. You know how much of a coward I've always been myself. I can't wait to see you, and I will try to contact you again before the next crisis hits. Love, Sylvia.
So that's you send via.
You?
Obviously, you don't read it out to the party, but you write that. On
No.
And
Sylvia's not like, she's not kind of hiding it.
No,
She's
no.
just
It's for the like audience benefit.
yeah,
Like,
exactly,
it's okay, that
absolutely,
person's been-
from our viewers' benefit. So yeah, you send that message off, okay? Right. So then I guess you finish your breakfast, you get all your luggage, though you didn't have much by way of luggage.
no.
Okay. Sylvia, you're heading to the perfumery, yes?
Yep. I'm gonna get a cab, and I'm gonna give the address of the perfumery.
What's the perfumery called again?
The perfumery is called Violet. It was established. History lesson for anyone who I'm sure people. I actually. So it was established in 1827. And set the stage for the French cosmetics industry by Mr. Francois Etienne Violet. French perfume brand was the official supplier to the Empress Eugenie and Queen Isabel II of Spain during the late 19th century.
Yeah.
It then actually closed in 1955 in the economic downturn, but it's actually opened again as of 2017. So
this is, we're getting some direct and canonical perfumery in our game. Yes. So,
I found my research.
Actually realized, cool. Like,
this is 100, and like at this time period, we are in 1872. This perfumery is supplying fragrances to European royalty, like literally.
So the bee was the symbol of the Empress, became the brand's trademark, and marked every bottle.
Yeah. So yeah, you head there, okay?
That is where I am going.
So you've got
hell, that's bougie. That's gonna be like,
we're talking.
well, Sylvia wants to get Moraine something really fucking
Yeah.
nice.
I am
This is top level stuff. So yeah, you jump in a cab, and it takes about like 30 minutes or so, leaves you in. This is one of the bougiest, poshest parts of Paris you've ever been in.
Sylvia still looks like she's done about 10 rounds with Mike Tyson, by the way.
No, you're not completely shabby, but the fact of the matter is, you get out and you see, well, first of all, people aren't strolling the streets here so much as alighting from their private carriages and getting back into their private carriages. Okay.
Yeah.
But the women that you see now, they're just in their day dresses for when they promenade about town, but their day dresses look like something that could easily feed a family of 10 for over half a year, you know?
Yeah. You're walking around with like a black eye or something.
Yeah. So
basically.
So you don't have any facial wounds by way of bruising or anything like that, because of the nature of the fight.
Yeah,
okay?
no, I'm just walking kind of slowly. I'm sore, and I just look really fucking tired.
But more importantly than that, your clothing looks like the kind of thing that maybe one of their maids would wear.
Yeah, well, listen,
okay, like that's it. You're the style of first of all, the fabrics, the dyes, and the style of cut, the fashion of your silhouette. You look like the Help.
That's fine.
Okay, so I'm just saying. So
I'm gonna be going in and like slapping the money down on the table and leaving.
absolutely. So you do pass a number of different shops. There's like these are like dressmaker shops, and you see like bolts of like silks and laces and just like the most exquisite of fabrics.
Sylvia
You
does get distracted by the pretty fabric.
Yeah, you see there's another shop that you pass that is breathtaking furnitures. There is one or two shops that are selling wines and brandies, and then you get to the perfumery, the Ville perfumery, okay? And you
Yeah.
see this golden bee emblazoned on the front of the shop beside the name. And yeah, opening the door, the little bell rings, and you find yourself stepping into this like maybe a 5 by 7 meter space, rich carpet. There's a couple of different wooden cabinets around, and you see there's a number of different people, women, exceptionally wealthy women and their daughters, and they're working with like some of the shop assistants, young women, and they're like wafting fragrances from bottles up to the noses. And towards the back you see an impeccably dressed man. He's in his kind of like probably his is like early 50s. Okay. um and like people glance up at you when you walk in, and everybody's giving you this what the fuck second look kind of vibe. As
Sylvia gives zero fucks.
the gentleman comes up to you and says, bon matin, mademoiselle. My name is Monsieur Villet. Are you here to pick up an order for your mistress, perhaps?
No, actually, I am here to buy a gift for a friend who helped myself and my friends very much. And I would like to buy her something, appropriately, fancy and nice, because she is herself quite fancy, far more so than I am, of course.
He's just like quite openly just like looking you up and down, and there's a momentary pause on your shoes.
Oh, because Sylvia still wears her like army boots, because they're good boots.
Exactly. And then he also pauses and he's looking curiously at the wooden discs that are hanging from your belt, because that is a very strange affectation. That is not something people would ever wear. So that is really unusual. That is not any sort of like it's not like you're wearing a very fine, elaborate belt. It's these plain looking wooden discs hanging from a piece of leather tonguing that's looped into your belt. It's such an odd thing, and yeah, so well, I think we have officially made it tonight. That's 2 bots in chat tonight. We have made it, folks. That is it. It is official. Okay. Right. So, and he said, mademoiselle, please forgive me, but perhaps I could recommend some other arrondissement in the city where you might find.
No, it was here that I was sent. Madame Josephine Gauthier recommended this place to me as. Okay, well, since you are asking, the friend who helped me is a very fancy, looking around, elf who lives in the Tronçais forest, and my friend was in a very dangerous situation. There's a very dangerous man, and she was very instrumental in helping us extricate her from it. I need to repay the favor.
As you say that, you see his eyes like sharpen in on the wooden discs, and you see the momentary realization as he finally makes out the Ohm engravings on them. He says, "Oh, excuse me, mademoiselle, I did not realize you were a druid. Oh, pardonnez-moi. Pardonnez-moi. Oh, pardonnez-moi. Please, yes, of course. And will the order be sent to the headquarters?"
Oh, I'm actually not a member of the order. My own training was a little bit unconventional. I was actually. Oh, Jesus! Here we go again.
You are a member of a Prussian order of druids. Where?
I am actually not a member of any order. I was trained in a forest by a Moos Leute, so I am not with an order per se.
A what?
Sylvia's kind of trying to remember the word. I think is the dryad? Is that what you call them? I am sorry.
Mon Dieu, you're trained in magic by a fae of the forest.
Well, yeah. So as you understand, I would like to buy a very nice.
Wait. Eugenie, some taste of the play, and you like talk to a young, very pretty young girl. Towards
God
the
damn it! I wanted to just be nice and low key, get some perfume, and leave.
Absolument, Monsieur Villet. And she's like, just the young girl runs off, and because he's asking, okay, make some tea for this customer. He's like, okay, I'm gone. Boom. And he's like, please, mademoiselle, please forgive me. And let us if you would like, we can go into one of the back rooms, and we can have a private experience of our finest wares.
Oh, thank you. That would be wonderful.
Absolument. Please, and he needs you.
I know quite a lot about flowers, but I don't know a lot.
Of course, you are a druid.
And plants and.
Absolument.
But perfume would not be my area of expertise. But if I was to guess, I think something maybe. With some lavender, maybe some rose, but
we do have.
I understand that some ladies you have been able to get hold of jasmine.
I was just about to say this. We have connections further east, and we have jasmine and also some fine fragrant orchids as well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
please, and he leads you in towards a back through a door, and then like into a small corridor, and then left into a very, very fine. It's not an office. It's like a petite drawing room, basically, And there's this lovely little coffee table, okay, with a marble inlay on the top, and there's some nice settees around it, and then there's some cabinets along the walls, okay, and he says, please. And then literally, like, your ass has literally just hit this ground, or just hit the chair when the young girl comes in with the tray of tea, puts it down, and then starts pouring your tea for you and hands it to you. And he says, Eugenie, can you please get all of fragrances from the top back shelf? It's just the cover shelf. And she's gone. And he says, okay, please enjoy tea, and we will have some fragrances for you in just a moment. And a minute later, she comes in with another tray, and there's these various different vials, and lays them down. There's like maybe 4 or 5 vials, all pretty small.
Okay. So I'm gonna start, like, just, I suppose, smelling them, and
Yeah. So what do you think Sylvia would pick for Moraine?
I think she'd pick something very delicate and subtle, but not too overpowering. But hopefully something, I'm hoping because, I'm hoping she hasn't kind of come across, the likes of Jasmine and that sort of stuff. So I want to pick something that's a little bit unusual because,
Yeah.
something that's not like, she might have a million bottles of it already,
Yeah.
so I want just
Absolutely. Yeah.
but something very subtle, very delicate, not overpowering at all.
Yeah, and like he shows you, and he says and he explains how they can, like, if you're liking. So what you're like, these are perfumes, but he explains that if you're liking, say, 2 or more, he can blend them for you as well,
Okay.
to make your own unique perfume. So he says, if you want, we can certainly put together a blend of lavender and jasmine, if you wish.
Yeah, this sounds good. Something that is, subtle but not too overpowering.
Absolument.
Thank you so much. I am a little bit lost when it comes to scents. So I appreciate the help.
If you would please so kind, it will take me approximately 20 minutes to prepare this for you.
Okay. And roughly how much would it be?
This you are picking some of our finest and rarest fragrances. So this would be 15 gold.
Okay. Sylvia just reaches in and pops it down.
Oh, thank you, mademoiselle. And he scoops up the coins, drops them into the pocket of his waistcoat under his jacket, and he says,
I am not sure how long we are going to be in Paris, so I think it is best to,
no, of course, absolutely. But if you are considering future fragrances, of course, we will be happy to establish an account with a line of credit, of course.
Of course. I understand that is the way that you would do things, but as I said, I do not know how long we will be in Paris, so I do not want to, cause trouble of loose ends.
Well,
and
you may stay here, enjoy your tea. I will have some further refreshments for you in a moment, and we will call you once this is ready.
Oh,
So
thank you.
He goes, leaves you in the very lovely room with your tea. It's a really nice oolong, and Ari is appreciating my tea references. And a minute later, this girl Eugenie, she comes back in with another tray, and on it there are some macarons. There's a really tiny little. It looks like a miniature pan of chocolat, and like a couple of other very fine, delicate pastries, and she just leaves them for you. And yeah, you enjoy your pastries and you enjoy your tea. And after about 20 minutes, Monsieur Villet has come back with a very nice wrapped small box, and a very nice it's a very nice arsenic green wrapping paper, with a simple little red bow of a
That's
ribbon red
fine.
bow.
Sylvia is immune to poison now.
So yeah, and he says, "Here you go, Mademoiselle."
Oh, thank you very much. I have a long journey to the Tronçais forest now ahead of me, so thank you. I am going to go now, and Sylvia was going to make a joke about gotta fly, but then realized, no, don't say that.
Okay, so yeah, he leads you out to the front door. So thanking you very much. You just dropped a lot of money there,
Yeah.
And you are out on the street.
All right. Can I kind of turn off down into a side street and just turn into a bird and fly off?
Yeah, you find a side street.
Because I really can't be arsed walking very far. Sylvia is very sore and just not in the
you
humor.
turn off onto a side street. There are still numerous people walking by, so it's not completely empty.
It's fine. I don't.
And
I'm not going to
you-
do it in a crowded street. That's fine.
You cast
Once it's
beast
not-
shape, changing into a golden eagle, and there are some gasps and exclamations from the people seeing you, and you take flight into the air.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. So, Mina, did you want to go back to
money
that?
is the only language they understand. Like,
Absolutely. So, Mina, did you want to go back to that dive bar that you met that guy in before? Was that where you
Yeah.
wanted to go? Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. Sorry.
because
Now,
that seems to be his headquarters, kind of a thing.
now I can't remember the name of the dive bar. I don't even know if we gave it a
Don't tell
name
me like I
because
don't think we've actually said the name. We're
it
just
was
saying like it's a
it
dive
was
bar. Like,
such
that's
a
it.
yeah, it was such a dive bar. It didn't even
Yeah.
have a name on the front.
I don't think so. It's just a dive bar.
So yeah, like
Love it. I went to a bar in Andorra like that.
so. Justine, you're going back to your accommodation, yeah. But Annalise, are you going with Mina? Yes.
Yeah, it seems that she's going into dangerous territory.
Yeah.
so,
Cool. So yeah, you guys go. You
Not to doubt you, but you know.
so you probably you get a cab as close to the area as you
When?
visit. Yeah.
When they leave, Justine is like strongly disapprove, and she kind of gives Annalise look as in like, I rely on you. You seem sensible. There's nothing.
Like, looks over, receives a look that she's received from her superiors in the past, and goes, "Oh, okay, this is serious." Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, what is it with our campaign, the gunslinger being the sensible one?
Yeah,
They-
just momentarily pulls out her gun, checks to make sure she's loaded it.
Yeah. So so you get a cab. It won't bring you to where you were, but it will
course not.
bring you kind of close-ish to the area. And then you get out and then you're still on for another 10, 15 minutes into Annalise. This has got to be one of the roughest, sketchiest parts of Paris you've ever been in.
Yes, just chatting away, going like, yeah, blah 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 blah. She honestly doesn't care.
Yeah, it is bad, okay? Until eventually winding through the streets, Mina stops in front of this really rancid looking dive bar where you're worried you might get tetanus, diphtheria, chlamydia, gonorrhea, or all of the above if you walk in.
Stop it.
Okay?
With a dash of Hep C on the side.
Yeah.
What a charming place. You couldn't
Yeah,
really.
it is rather, isn't it? I'm trying to find the guy's name, and I don't. think
Oh,
I
it's
wrote it
okay.
down.
I have it. It's Auclair.
Oh, Clark. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it is. Thank you.
Andre Auclair. Okay.
Andre, yes.
Taste the character.
Yes.
Yes. It's just like, if you want to drink something, get something alcoholic.
I don't want to.
Anything else will probably be, I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, no, yeah,
I'm good, thanks.
I'm good, but you know, I appreciate the consideration.
Yeah. So
I don't often miss home, but sometimes.
so you go into this dingy, dark, dimly lit place. It's dimly lit because there's a very low fire in one side, and there's a couple of candles lit, but there's not many, and the windows are so covered in filth and crud that not a lot of natural light gets in. Okay. The floor is
Years
covered.
of dirt on the
Yeah,
windows, like,
exactly. The wooden floors are covered in grime,
I don't want to know what it
sawdust,
is.
and dried blood and vomit. There is a man slooped over one small wooden table, asleep.
It's the fucking morning.
Yeah, it's kind of like for these guys. Yeah, it's maybe about half 10, 11.
Right?
Yeah, no, actually, I checked the calendar. Apologies, it's only been about two and a half weeks.
Okay, but it's the same guy I met about like a couple of weeks ago.
So
when
the
I
guy-
went in the first time, yeah,
The guy
that
who
slumped
is-
over. I mean,
yeah, it is the same guy. Okay.
It looks like
part of
he's
D&D.
And you do see the barman there, and he says, "Oh, it's you."
It's like, oh hello, it's me again. Yes, it's Andrea.
No, but he will be back later about 2.
Well, that's okay. Tell him I came by, and I'll come later around 2. I just want to say that I'm back in Paris,
Yeah,
looking
of
for some
course.
action again.
Absolutely, of course.
See you later.
Yeah, and you get out quickly.
I
I end up
forget that
walking
I am a
around, but
changed woman now.
it's kind of, it has its own charm in a way. It's not like
Yeah, in the
nature
way
and
that
the
a bear
mountains where I
hurtling
grew up,
towards
but
you at max speed has a charm to it.
it has some sort of weird charm to it. But
Yes.
in that case, I'll probably go to sort my accommodation out with
Yeah.
Madame in Montmartre if you want to
Yeah. Cool.
tag along.
Yeah.
And I will go back
Welcome.
to where the cabs were and hail a cab to go to
Yeah. So you guys go, you get a cab heading back to Montmartre to go back to your landlady. You had paid for a month. You've only been gone about 2.5 weeks. So you're fairly confident your room should still be good. Justine, you're going back to your room where your arcane supplies are to do your research for your new spell.
Yes, this is my
And
favorite part of leveling up.
Sylvia currently flying at great speed across the landscape of France towards the enchanted Tronçais forest. I think this is a perfect place to pause in our story.
No, Justine's arcane
We
research.
will be back in 5 minutes, folks. I promise no more than that, okay? Back in 5. Don't go anywhere, and we'll see what happens next. Okay, folks, and we are back. When last we left our brave adventurers, Sylvia had just spent a lot of money on buying some extremely expensive perfume. Mina was attempting to meet up with the man responsible for the probably illegal underground fight club, literally underground fight club she had partaken in before. And Justine had traveled back to their accommodation in Montmartre where her arcane research supplies are, and spends the next 4 hours doing her arcane research. So, as she is inscribing her newest spell into her book of shadows. So, Justine,
Research roll.
let's give
This
you
is
that.
this is actually my favorite part of leveling up. It's Justine's arcane research.
So, roll your d20 and add your magic score. Don't forget, you do have a mote of fairy luck as well.
Mm.
Once
Depends on
per
how poor I roll.
once per day. Okay, your target number is
That was
19.
cut. Sorry.
Can I share my
No, you
inspiration?
cannot.
Please.
What? What
I
did you
rolled
get?
9.
Plus 5 is 14, and your target number is 19.
You have your luck. You have your luck.
I want mishaps to happen. They're so funny.
So bona fide.
Would this be
and plus
permanent,
5 to
though?
any ability roll.
Any ability roll, yes, once per day.
So I'll do that.
Okay. Oh, that's a shame. So that means you hit the target number. We all wanted a mishap, okay?
They're funny.
Where you end up with fucking cloven hooves again, and then you're
So,
rotting in your religious woman's house.
Listen, I tell you what, I'm just curious to know what would have happened. Okay, so you have successfully completed your
Without the luck.
research, and you transcribe your new 4th level spell to your Book of Shadows. But just humor us all. Roll a d20.
14.
Oh my god. The sorcerer's skin takes on a striped pattern like a tiger or similar creature for 24 hours.
That would have been incredible.
Oh
Well
my
avoided.
God.
Well avoided.
That would have
You
been
just
amazing.
avoided that, but that was oh my
That
god.
would
That
have
been brilliant.
been
I
truly.
wonder if Anki would have recognized me even, or he would.
Oh, he would
At
have your
least it's not
scent.
permanent. Could you imagine having permanent
your
skin like that?
smell would not, your scent would not have changed. Okay. So
Amazing.
yeah.
Sorry, guys. Sorry to disappoint. I'll try to roll worse next time.
Right.
You already have
okay.
heterochromia, in fairness.
True. And that I'm surprised actually, because like last time when I had like a serious mishap, it was after like a really traumatic fight, I think.
Yeah.
It was one of the first ones. I don't remember what it was exactly.
You
But it was
ended
at the
up
beginning of the campaign.
you were essentially, you had your eyes went white, so you
Yes.
could only, you were really
I remember that.
photosensitive. You had cloven hoofs
Yes, and I
Uh-huh.
had shadows following me
and
everywhere.
shadows clinging to you. And then
Uh-huh.
when we went to have dinner with Moraine, you lost the ability to speak and communicate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Right. So
Just for 24 hours.
Mina, you
Not a big
had
deal.
you with Annalise jump in your cab and head back up to the Montmartre region, okay? To the to the boarding house that you had been staying in before, okay? So you get there, do you just use your key and go in? Do you knock on the door? What are you doing?
I use my key, but I also kind of announce myself when I go in to kind of so say like if anyone is
Yeah,
around.
okay, right. So
And
you
if she's around, I let Madame know that I'm back.
so you open the door and you come into a hallway section, and there's you can see a door off to the right that is leading into some sort of a living room, dining room space. There is a stairs going up and another door at the far end, okay, leading back into what you assume is a kitchen space. Annalise, what you immediately notice is the religious iconography in the house. So you walk in and there is a small painting of the Madonna with child immediately to your left. All right. There's a side table And on the side table, there is a wooden crucifix and what looks to be a small glass bottle of, you're assuming, holy water. Okay. You do hear noise, footsteps, and a moment later, coming through the far door, you see a woman, looks to be in her mid to late 40s, human, dark hair, which she has in a plait that is coiled up in a bun. Okay. Simple, well made clothing. Okay. So very nice high blouse. All right. With a wool cardigan and a long dark wool skirt. Okay. Around her neck, you see a small silver crucifix. Okay. As she comes up and she's, ah, Mademoiselle Mina. I was not expecting you back for at least another week. You had paid me for a month.
Yeah, I finished up a bit earlier, and my friends needed some help with a matter, so I came back a bit earlier as well.
Mon
How have
Dieu,
you been?
your face.
Oh yeah, just these things happen when you're a fighter.
Honestly, you.
I just give her a big hug, first of all. I was like,
And she's
oh my
kind of,
God.
she is stiff when you do it, and she's like gently like reaches but doesn't touch. And she says,
Hmm.
"This is not the life of a good Christian woman."
Well, I'm in an honorable, um, um, the life of a guard is fairly honorable. So, my
Oh,
uncles and my brothers have
I
made
have
really good lives for themselves. So,
I have never questioned your honor. You are clearly a good and godly woman, but still, pardonnez-moi.
but that's saving one of my men as well. So,
Ah,
that's about your honor.
um, excuse me, my name is Adelaide Dunana. I am the housekeeper of this establishment.
Guten Morgen, Anneliese Nicole. I am a new
Member
associate.
of our party. Yes.
Yeah, quite. A pleasure to meet you.
Really
Madam.
handy with guns, this one.
Guns, mon Dieu.
I apologize. It is perhaps not becoming of a person such as myself. I have heard such things often. But yes, I employ them in the protection of fine, well-mannered people. Godly people, of course.
Okay. Well, I guess I shall add your name to my prayers, as I have Mina's.
You are too kind. I do not deserve such an honor. I appreciate.
That definitely saved me, madam. Thank you so much.
She says, have you eaten? Would you like something?
I
You haven't
don't
actually
need
had anything.
to.
What is it? Lunchtime at the moment, isn't it?
It's like about 12:30.
Well, I could eat if it's no bother.
I have some soup. Please sit yourselves
That
down.
sounds wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay, so you go into the dining room, and yet again, more religious iconography. You see a painting of the Sacred Heart um, on one side. On the other side, you see a painting of, you're not sure, it's obviously some French saint, but as a godless Protestant, you would not know who this is. Yeah. Um, and
Frau Mina, I did not take you for. I suppose I have no room to assume we have only just met. A person of considerable
Oh,
faith.
my family is very religious. They're Catholics. I have two brothers who are in the Papal Guard.
Oh, well, I apologize for misspeaking then.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
We have room for everybody.
Did I see any? Obviously, I keep myself fairly well covered. Did I see any discomfort from the housekeeper at my visage, or
at your guns more so than your
Okay.
touched
well,
heritage?
that's quite nice.
Yeah,
And
yeah. They don't.
on a sliding scale. not bad.
Yeah, they didn't seem to mind that you're fey-blooded, but did have an issue with the fact that you were a woman with firearms.
I get that a lot.
Yeah, so that was the
Yeah,
issue.
yeah.
So do I.
I'm not gonna name drop my rank, but you know what's going on.
Yeah, I gonna talk. I said like, oh, Annalise, we haven't really had much chance to
Yeah,
talk much
we
with
kind
everything
of.
that's happening because what's your Fey lineage? My mother is dry touched,
Oh,
and
beautiful.
my father is a satyr. So some of my brothers are, not quite as tall,
Yeah,
let's say.
we have some similarities there in terms of
Yeah, it's the hair.
forest skin. Quite, I can tell. Yeah,
Be sisters with our hair.
indeed, you can tell sometimes. I come somewhere in my family line. I don't quite know where. It was never really a happily discussed topic in the household. I somewhere in my bloodline was a Moschleute, as far as I know. Obviously, we don't know the name, as it comes with the territory. But
Yeah.
it seems to have manifested somewhat in me,
Yeah.
for better or for worse.
Yeah, so Annalise's Fey touch physical markers are exceptionally pronounced. There's just like slightly greenish tint of the skin, but then there's like markings on the skin that look almost like vines or maybe branches that is
Ooh.
coloring of the actual skin itself, as
Yeah,
well
it's
as
like,
the
it's like these protrusions that like come up along the neck and just cup along the jaw. These kind of they just look like skin colored branches almost.
Nice.
yeah.
It's a
Mina's
little
like, see,
disgusting.
I don't have those. Probably because I don't know that maybe just our blood is further back. I honestly don't know. But the hair, and my mother has the same hair, and Mina's eyes are like this kind of amber colored,
Yeah.
or like the one that still is,
Yeah.
not injured. Is amber color, but that's all I have. But I don't, I mean, that's the
Yeah,
your branches are actually quite gorgeous, and if you don't mind me say so.
I you're very kind to say so. I often don't
Really?
think the same way.
Oh,
Well, it's
are there not
I
many
just
Fey touch where you grew up?
there's some.
Okay.
There's some in where I grow up. Some. With the kind of people I grew up around, less
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Well, I mean, so Mina, you do know that Switzerland, being right on the border with Arcadia, has a lot more Fey touch than other parts of Europe have. You know?
Yeah, Mina was just exactly saying, see where I grew up. We're right at the border to Arcadia. So we have
Oh, you're
a lot of Fey touched. So that
right.
must be, people must be going. I mean, we go back and forth across the border all the time. And I guess things happen, as they do.
It's the joys of love, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah,
guess that's why we have Fey blood on both sides of my parents, because there are so
yeah,
many.
that would make sense. Well, that might
Mm,
be why your particular markers are not quite as
they're
evident. Perhaps
different.
there's some
Yeah, exactly.
dilution.
Yeah, yeah.
But the nature of magic is
So tell me
arcane and
about.
complex.
Do you have any? I don't really have any magic abilities.
Um, I look around. Is there any? Is there like a plant pot or anything
Yeah,
nearby?
there is. Yeah.
I'm just gonna snag like a flower out of a plant
Yeah.
pot and quickly do just a little.
Do your thing.
I do a little thing. I do a little bit of nature craft to just like change the flower into like a smaller little rosebud almost that just sits in the palm of the hand quite
Nice.
cutely. Little legs.
Like, oh my God, that is so nice. That is so nice. I wish I could
Yeah.
do that.
Oh, it's a little parlor trick. With some work, I can do something more useful with it, but it takes time.
Yeah.
Other than that, I can see living things through sort of to a certain distance.
Oh,
But
nice. Oh, I think
that was only recently.
my mother has more. Yeah, my mother has more abilities. She
Well,
was another disappointment, um, um, that I
well,
didn't really quite turn out like her. But
we all have our own talents. I didn't quite
wait, that's
pick
you
up.
kept telling her.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't pick up magic until I met Madame Gautier. I was,
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
during, well, as I say, the topic of my lineage wasn't quite a popular subject at home, and
Yeah.
my parentage tended to focus a little bit more on and I sort of pat my guns, and in the military, there were people who had talents, but mine needed to be mundane. So when I ended up
Yeah.
in Madame Gautier's employ, she was quite fascinated with my, so she pointed me in the direction of some knowledge, and I
Nice.
practiced. So this is all,
Mm,
that was only a few, handful of months ago. So it's all quite
yeah.
new to me.
Wow.
Certainly, I know I'm
Maybe,
not
maybe
any.
if I kind of do a bit more, maybe I could,
Hmm,
maybe I'd learn a bit more as well. So
yeah,
there
it's
might be hope for
possible.
me.
It could happen. I'm sure. I
There was,
mean, your allies are, I suppose, my allies now are incredibly organically adept. I mean, I'm sure.
I have, no, I have no talent that way. And
Uh,
do you know, with 5 brothers, I have 5 brothers.
oh,
Um,
Lord! I mean, I
yeah,
do not envy that.
my mother, I'm the youngest. My mother really wanted a girl, so I guess they kept
Works their
going
way
until I
towards
was
it.
born. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
we had the reverse
but
situation.
I was always a brawler. I was always
Hmm,
I always enjoyed. I mean, like, and I enjoy dressing up and do my hair and all that.
sure. Yeah.
Absolutely, but
Hmm.
at the same time, um. Or decorating Albert, and like you can see all the ribbons that she has on
Yeah.
Albert.
Beautiful.
So, but um, I always enjoy brawling and fighting, and that seems to be kind of a talent of mine. So my uncle like took me under his wing, and yeah, mom never really, you know, yeah, well, this is not what she envisioned for myself. But like, I never
Hmm.
kind of saw myself as a wife of like a farmer or innkeeper or something. Didn't see it that. You know what I mean? That wasn't
Yeah.
for me.
No, I get what you mean. I was never really a military person. So
How
we
did you end up
follow
in the military?
how.
Hmm. If you don't mind me asking.
No, it's not an especially interesting story. If you compare me to, say, Sylvia's brother, he's got a little bit more of a honor to that. For me, my father was connected and had a lot of money, and
Yeah,
to be a notable person in a family which did not have a male heir, it
yeah.
was
All
required
right.
of me to have a certain level of prestige. So, a paid position for me was arranged, and I found myself commanding a lot of people. So
Cool.
that's, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, there was a lot of training, and
yeah,
I wanted to make sure that I was at least somewhat capable. And
yeah.
you saw me in battle. I like to think I can hold my
Oh, you
own
definitely
sometimes.
are capable. Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
but yeah,
See,
I did
we're
not earn the position, so to speak.
So, Mina, you're very familiar with this, the concept that people from the upper classes,
yeah,
their children would be given a paid commission of an officer's rank and immediately join that way. To reach the highest ranks in any army, you can only do that if you went through a paid commission to begin with. Nobody is working their way up through the ranks to, general or field marshal from a basic grunt. So yeah, this is
that's
like,
a glass ceiling.
this is very much like, this is not a weird thing at all. This is such the norm in European military society in this time
Absolutely,
period.
absolutely. Yeah, see, my family, my father is a farmer, but like on my mom's side, that family has like a lot of history. Like they're like most of them would have been like guards, in the Swiss Guard or in the Papal Guard or whatever. But it's kind of a family tradition. So, I kind of fell into it as well once my talents
Yeah.
were
Well,
discovered. So
I was going to say, as a brawler, were you not interested in going the papal? I know. Again, I do not mean to presume about
well,
your faith,
no,
but
first of all, men as a female, they want men, and then you
sure.
have to be a
Yeah.
certain height. So, um, in my family, the twins actually are the only two who have the required height. The rest of us are all a bit smaller.
Yeah, I get what you
So
mean. I was lucky where I got a certain amount of height from my bloodline, but even then, no one wants to
my
take
mother is
orders
quite
from a short
a
person.
bit taller than my father. She's like two heads taller than him. So
Ah.
yeah.
Okay, well, like as you say, you seem to be very adept at what you do. So one does not
Yeah,
need to be a
as I
part of an
said,
organization
it's
to
something
validate
that
that.
my uncle really kind of took me under his wing, and I got training and I liked it, and so I joined.
Well, there you go. That's delightful. And if you're happy, then who can stop you?
Exactly. So as I said, mom tried, and I was like, no, this is what I want to do.
That's beautiful. Really, I admire that in quite the way. Yeah.
So,
How did you find your way here?
Oh, I was looking for like because we were staying with Aminata in her house, and after once it kind of you know it became obvious that we're going to stay a bit longer, I was like, I need to find my own accommodation, and I was just kind of asking around, and I found this area, which is quite a bit cheaper than if you're living in the city itself, and
Hmm.
it's still fairly accessible. Like you come here, it's not too difficult. So I found this boarding house, and mom is really nice.
Fine. Yeah. Makes sense to me.
right.
And you know what?
So,
I would really love to sorry, I would really love to learn a bit of shooting. Like I have like the basics, but you see, my uncle is a real traditionalist, I mean,
Hmm.
some of the other guards, they were like, oh yeah, they used to throw guns, right? But my uncle is like, no, 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 this is not tradition. The halberd is tradition. So we
Oh, the
never really.
troll gun is a beautiful piece of equipment, though. I
I
mean, my
know,
God.
I know. I would love to have one,
Oh, I
honestly.
would love to get my hands on one of those things.
But, yeah.
Madame Delaney comes out with some very nice, freshly made onion soup, and you have an enjoyable lunchtime. Okay.
That smells
S-
wonderful.
Yeah.
Merci, madame.
Um, I'm going to jump back to Justine now. So, Justine, you spend 4 hours on your arcane research and successfully transcribe your new spell into your book of shadows. Very happy with how you did. You're really getting kind of confident, and you're like, I'm getting the hang of this. I'm nailing this. This is getting easy, okay? And you just finished having some lunch after your a late lunch after your successful um, bit of research, and some silvery font appears in front of you as a message appears from Madame Gautier. Very brief. Um, Hello, Justine. I hope you're well. I was wondering if you could visit me at my store.
Oh, Justine is both surprised and intrigued. Um, she's going to finish her lunch if she hasn't yet.
Yeah?
Um, give Anki food
Yes?
because he made himself comfortable. So she's just like grabbing
Yes.
Anki, and she's going to go to Madame Gautier's immediately.
Okay, so you get to the shop, and she's out the back, but she walks in just as you're coming. And she says, Justine, you got my message. Excellent. I was wondering if you'd like to maybe come and do some work with me. You were extremely useful in helping me when we made that solar trap. And I thought perhaps you might like to do some work alongside me, observing my work as an artificer, maybe to help you gain a deeper understanding of your magic.
I would love to. Justine is just like she's trying to hide her excitement, but she can't.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
She's trying to like convince herself and give herself
Yeah.
you know, I'm a powerful sorcerer. I've accomplished myself, and that's what she's trying to be. And she's trying to be like, yes, of course. So,
Yeah,
no, she's very
absolutely. In
she's
your
like
head,
simping over Madame Gautier so hard.
yeah, okay, super. Yeah, so yeah, there's like absolute elation and a little bit of imposter syndrome, and
Oh, good bit of an imposter. She's trying not to shout.
yeah. So yeah, she's gonna bring you
shows.
into the back, and over the next couple of hours, you're like alongside her, and she's explaining stuff to you as she is working on a couple of different items. Now, they're fairly basic, simple items that she's working on. She's making some goblin sparks, enchanted Zippo lighters, and the likes, and some fairy globes. So they're fairly simple and mundane. But she's like trying to work you through the process of actually putting an enchantment into a physical object itself. And you're like,
It's being geek.
yeah, you're not, you're like, okay, this is so beyond anything that I've trained in. The way I have trained and focused on my magic is so different to this, but you're getting an idea of the basics.
Well, she's nerding out big time.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, she's
Totally.
nerding out big time,
Nerdgasm.
and she's also, I guess she's kind of like also being slightly proud of herself because she did do those mana receptacles for people,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
protection without actually having any like training in
Yeah.
being an artificer. So she's like, okay, I actually figured it out correctly. Like some bits were clunky, obviously, and there are easier ways to do certain things. But overall, I didn't do a bad job. Like I came to exactly the same result. Because I would say before, like with both mana receptacles and amulets of protection, I would say Justine was like super anxious. She tested them obviously, but she was like, "What if it blows up like in the middle of a battle?"
Exactly.
We're fucked.
Yeah.
So now she's like, "Okay, I could actually do it."
Okay. Super. Right. Sylvia.
Right.
So as I say, it takes. I think we did
5.5 hours.
5.5 hours. Yeah, and the B-shaped spell only lasts 5 hours, 1 hour per magic.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you do eventually have to land still about 30 or so kilometers. No, actually about 15, 20 kilometers from the.
Do you know what?
forest.
I might land when I land. I'm gonna use my druid craft and just make up the wreath, put it in my bag, and then shift and go.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Yeah.
So.
And then, so yeah, you
After
after your second casting, you eventually find yourself coming over the Tronçais forest, flying over it. Okay, and it's interesting because you fly over it and you do like you go across the entire length of it, but you do not see Moraine's palace of crystal.
Oh shit! She doesn't want to be found.
Okay, but then you sweep back around to do another lap, and when you're doing the second lap, you now see it in the center of the forest where it was not there the first time you passed.
Okay, well, I'm gonna land outside the gate because I want to be respectful. And I'm then gonna take out the wreath, kind of make sure it's still okay.
Yeah.
That all the flowers I've woven together are still okay. And that the perfume is still okay.
The box of perfume is fine. What flowers are in your wreath?
Okay. So what I put in, I chose acacia. Because that tends to mean I hope we can become friends. Jonquil for respect and friendship. Then I've got agrimony for thankfulness and gratitude. I've flower of an hour for beauty. I've garden chervil for sincerity. And blue periwinkle for early friendship. And then I've got some zinnia as well to kind of soften it. Traditionally in a friendship bouquet, you would also put some pansy in it as well, but I don't, that's a little bit too, I think of you often, and I don't feel like we're there yet, friendship wise. So I'm going to leave out the pansy for now. But that is what is in my wreath.
Okay, right. So you take out the as you take out your stuff, the gates open up. Okay. Walking your way up the trail.
And Sylvia is like, she's on her own at this right now, so she is like, this is just, oh god, what do I say? This is going to be so awkward.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. You get to the front door, and as you walk up the steps to the front, the door is open,
Okay.
You find yourself coming into this beautiful, vast palace that you have been in numerous times before. The walls made of glass that has this strange opaqueness to it. Okay. Light perfectly comes through, but when you look back out, it's obscured. Okay.
Okay.
And you hear the sounds of soft music coming from the grand dining room space that you know is just up off to the right.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Sylvia is like walking quietly, but not in a
Yeah.
not trying to stealth, but in a like, I don't want, this is such a beautiful place. I don't want to like upset it with my noise.
So okay, well then give me a dex roll.
No, well, okay. Right. She's not trying to stealth, but okay, so that was a 6.
So you don't have iron shod boots, but by Christ, you would think you did from the way your footfalls are.
She does wear like
Dumping.
her old army
And
boots,
as I say, this is a grand hall, so there is a serious echo.
Yeah, so at this point, Sylvia is kind of like, okay, just, it's fine. This is fine. We're just gonna walk.
So coming into the grand dining room, you don't see anybody there, okay? But one of the automatons that are scattered around the palace walks up to the table and pulls back a chair for you.
Oh, okay, right. Sylvia is going to say, thank you very much.
This
he's gonna sit down.
shapeless, featureless face, glowing eyes staring forward, seeing all and seeing nothing as it took the chair.
But not thanking it would feel rude and strange. So
as another automaton comes through the doors to the left, and it is carrying a tray, and there is 2 glasses, fine crystal glasses, with what looks like a red wine. It puts one at the space at the front of the table. Now, there's no chair at the head of the table, just a space for it. And then it comes over and puts the other one in front of you as it steps back to the wall. And a moment later, coming in through the doors, you see Moraine le Fay seated in her chair, wheels along the side, appearing to be moved through arcane powers as it positions her up at the head of the table. And she looks at you and says, I must say, I am very pleased to see you. From what you described, I was not sure if you would survive.
Well, we survived, all of us, and it is mostly thanks to the solar grenades that you gave us. The sun, the energy from the sun definitely impeded his regeneration for long enough.
I suspected as much. Those creatures are vulnerable to radiant energy, but I somehow doubt that my device was the main reason you were successful. It would, of course, have helped, but I am quite certain that it was yours and your comrades' abilities that won you the battle.
Oh, well, these things all help, you know. I think things could have potentially gone differently had we not had your device. I'm going to recount the battle to her, and I'm going to mention that Justine got the killing blow.
Wonderful.
You know, and say how she's, she's become very powerful now.
You all have.
She is able to deflect very powerful magics.
And it would seem that your healing has become quite powerful too.
Well, yeah, I do what I can, but to that end, I wanted to thank you for your help, but also to thank you for your help in the matter of your sister, because we unfortunately left. I had wanted to thank you before we left the town of Cheville, but it was not possible. It was obviously before I got the magics to travel in the form of a bird. So I wanted to give you. I picked this up in Paris.
You put the box down.
Yeah.
And she gestures, and it floats up off the table towards her, and it lands down. The ribbon unties itself. The lid comes off, and the bottle floats up. Says, "Ah, perfume." And she pulls it in, and the bottle comes up, unscrews. She's like not using her hands, of course.
Yeah,
And
no,
she's
of course.
and as
Sylvia's
it
trying to not be massively intimidated by this, and go,
as
oh god, I don't feel like
as the bottle comes up near her face, she finally raises her hand to waft the fragrance towards her. Says, "Oh, that is delightful. Why, thank you. This is a very kind gift."
I also made this for you, and I'm gonna kind of just pop the wreath down, just kind of just on the table in a very like
it floats up, and then in front of her, just, and you see she's taking a moment and she's looking at the different flowers, and her head is nodding as she's looking through them. It's like,
okay, she knows. She knows.
of course she knows. Please.
Sylvia's clocked that. And she's also like, okay, really glad I didn't put the pansy in, because that would have been presumptuous.
This is also quite a lovely and thoughtful gift, Sylvia.
Oh, well, before I became a druid and before I was in the army, I used to work with flowers a lot. So,
Yes.
I am glad that you like them.
I know, I do. Your affinity with nature is also growing quite strong. I can sense you are. I can sense a further jump in your arcane power.
Yeah, I will. I think I'm going to need to meditate for a while when I return home.
You sense it too?
Yeah, I can usually feel it.
When and do you know what spheres of magic you going to draw towards?
Well, I am still very drawn to the sphere of earth and also the wild itself.
Of course,
but
yes.
So I think it is going to be one of those. I can't always tell that specifically, but you know.
Yes, of course.
But if you don't mind me asking, and I'm sure I hope this isn't too personal a question, but what became of your sister after all of that unpleasantness?
Well,
when you saved us from her.
Well, I didn't save you so much as impede her.
Yeah. We are very grateful for that, by the just so you know.
She spent a brief period here with me. We had one or two uncomfortable conversations. You know how family is.
I have a younger sibling. I know how these things are.
Well, and thankfully, I have convinced her to return home to our parents in Arcadia.
Oh. I do hope that you were able to mend things with her. Though I understand families are. I do not feel that way toward my younger siblings, so I understand.
You must understand, my kind, we live a very long time. On the one hand, it means we have very long memories, but on the other hand, it means we can allow a great passage of time to pass, allowing us to move on from disagreements, shall we say.
That would be a nice thing.
There's nothing like a century or two to forget why you could not stand your brother or sister.
Personally, I think I would need more time, but I will accept what you say.
Now, if I may be so bold, and you feel a tugging of your hand being pulled towards her, the hand that the ring is on.
Oh. Ah!
The ring is not removed. It's just a tugging, and she says, "Yes, I thought I sensed something of this. Where did you get this?"
So after we had killed this vampire, he had some magical items on him.
Mm.
Uh, for obvious reasons, I would have loved to have had this, particularly on the final day of the war, but
I have heard of this item. This is a ring. It is interesting. This is a ring that was first. There's a handful of them around the world. Well, I say around the world. I really mean around Europe. I'm sure that on other continents they have similar objects, but there is a small handful. I think 2 or 3 in existence. Most of them were made somewhere between 700 and 900 years ago. Um,
oh,
well, there were many more dragons then. And they were made to be worn by knights and valiant warriors who would fight dragons that were encroaching on human habitats and villages.
okay.
Yes. So, now I can tell you now, you may need this.
Sylvia goes very pale and starts sweating, but she's really trying to not show like absolute fucking terror at that thought.
Yes, there has been activities in the mountains to the east, various different fey creatures appearing in mass and moving west.
So, oh, Mina did mention that she faced some large worms when she was in the
Probably,
Alps.
oh, if there it was probably Tatzelworm. They
But
are
she did
like a
not
cross
say.
between a snake and a cat.
Ah, okay.
Quite horrid creatures, really. But yes, these flight or migration of creatures like that in mass would suggest something even greater and more powerful is moving, and it would seem it is moving west.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Da-da.
Given what you had said to us before about the movement of the dragons the first time that we met,
Mm-hmm.
this does seem to make sense. If I may be so bold, you have already done so much for us. There is something else that the Baron had
Yes.
that we could not identify. She's
Mm-hmm.
gonna take out the disc and just kind of put it down, and just he removed a sword from this.
Ah,
Uh,
curious. As it floats towards her and she's raising her hands, like, very curious. The enchantment on this is it's similar to that of the goblin purse, but it is more
yeah, this is what we learned, but
it is
obviously you
mm,
cannot turn it inside out to remove everything,
no, it
So
is more powerful.
yeah,
Quite old. I've never seen anything like that. Would if I could be so bold, may I study this for some time?
uh, and then you would uh, tell us what is in it and things of this nature.
You must understand that I could make an object like this myself if I chose.
Oh, of
Uh,
course.
Maybe not quite with this elegance, but if I wished, I could make a goblin purse. I have many goblin purses.
Oh,
It's
I'm sure that you do, of course.
it's more for the curiosity. It is rare that I find an enchanted object that piques my curiosity in the way this has. I
Oh,
would
well, then I am glad that perhaps, it feels a little bit less like you are doing something for me again. And
no, certainly. I will, yes,
uh,
if I may, I will spend some time studying it, and if I can unlock its secrets, I will be certain to let you know. It is yours after all. You won it through
yeah,
right of combat.
I do not have a way of contacting you, unfortunately.
I
I don't.
I I can
I do
contact
have an
you.
arcanogram, however, so I can sort of like give you my phone number.
I Sylvia, I can message you if I need to speak to you.
Yeah, I will not be able to reply is all that I was saying.
And even if you do not choose to do so now, if you, as you grow in your arcane strength, if you were to focus on the sphere of the wild, I'm sure you are aware that there are spells that would allow you to travel via the trees.
Yeah, I would be very wary of using the trees of your forest as they are very much under your control and
Yeah, I will
may
say,
decide
um,
may decide that they do not want to be used and
I can tell you, I can promise you, Sylvia, if you were casting the spell, you would have no concerns.
oh well that is a relief. Like so Sylvia gets like, nope, you're not coming in.
Now, um, on the more serious matter, if a flame is coming from the west, sorry, from the east to the west, and you do, as I suspect you will, you do seem to have become something of a group of heroes of this age for your mortal kin. If you do choose to face it, you will probably need more power than you currently have.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't think, I don't know that there is enough power in the vote to face dragons.
Of course, there is.
I,
Knights of
I,
old did it. Now, granted, the dragons, the knights of old
they
were
were the
they
babies.
were the young of the Virms. But um, as you know, when the revolution happened and my kin fled to Arcadia, they abandoned their palaces. There are numerous elven palaces scattered across the country, and when they fled, while they brought some of their secrets with them, many of their secrets were left behind. If you are
Hmm.
looking to gain more power, one way you might do so would be to venture into one of the palaces of my kin. This is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, well, so is, fighting a vampire or
Exactly.
facing a dragon or, it's.
Approximately once a decade, a bunch of foolish drunken men decide that they are going to storm the local elf keep, and they usually do not return. And if they do, they return with their minds no longer intact. But you and your friends are not drunken young men trying to impress the local farm girls.
My mind has already been shattered. It's fine.
Mm. Well, all I will say is I have been sensing something. Something is coming this way from the east. I do not worry for myself. It will not bother me.
Well, you are an elf. You are not the one who, took the young and declared war on Arcadia and all of the other stupid things that men with power decide on.
Yes, yes. I feel you and I could talk for many hours about these things, and it would be a delightful conversation. But I,
Perhaps another time.
yes, that would be wonderful.
I could visit again. We could discuss the
Absolutely,
man.
that would be that would be delightful. In fact, and she raises a hand.
Sylvia's been sipping this amazingly tasty wine.
It's nectar of the gods, this vintage. Okay,
Yeah.
absolute nectar of the gods. So, she's raised a hand, and after a moment, you hear a cawing sound as a raven swoops in from outside.
Is
Land,
this what
landing.
was the raven called? What was the raven
I don't
called?
believe he gave you his name. I don't believe he did. He never gave his name. As he
Is it
lands
the
on her,
same one? Is it
he
the
lands
same
on her
one?
fingers, and he turns to like, "Oh, hello, long time no see."
Oh, I have not seen you in so long. How are you?
Could be better. Left wing's been giving me some trouble.
Oh, perhaps I could help with that. Sylvia's gonna.
Can you turn back the clock? And she says, "Would you stop complaining, please?" Sorry, my lady. I says, "You know what to do." I says, "Yes, my lady." And he reaches with his beak into his in towards under his wing, and he plucks at a feather, and he hops off, and he hops along to you, and he drops the feather down in front of you. Now, if you do need to contact me, simply take this feather, ignite it, and my winged friend here will appear and can carry the message to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is thank you for that.
Of course, it goes without saying, this should be used for important messages. It does not need to be a life and death emergency, but it's a shame you have not chosen to study the magics of light and shadow. Otherwise, you could send me a message yourself.
Yeah, I realize that, but if it's not too much trouble, I would like to call on you again, at least to learn about this strange pouch.
I will, once I have studied this ring, I shall send you a message inviting you to come for an evening to discuss what I've learned.
Now, is she saying just me, or is she saying everyone?
You don't give me awareness. Give me an insight roll, an empathy roll.
Okay. That's a 14, 15. I have my motive luck, and I have my inspiration die. If it's not,
Well, you want to use your inspiration die.
I do, because I'm assuming
let's use your inspiration die. There's 3 minutes left.
I'm assuming she's incredibly hard to read. Oh, I rolled an 8.
Okay, so that's 22. You're getting 23. So you're kind of getting the vibe that this is an invitation more so to you than to the whole group, you know?
Oh.
Not that there's necessarily a hostility towards the group, but you're the person she's having this conversation with. So
Okay.
You're in there, Sylvia.
You're the person the invitation is going to, okay?
Okay.
Right. So, you finish your wine, and she says, "Well, thank you. It's been a delightful time talking to you again. You are far more interesting than most of your kin, male or female, or those who choose their own path."
Well, thank you. Not that, is that you are also quite interesting. Not that I have met many elves.
No, of course, I am exceptional. But that goes without saying. Now, I can send you back home.
Oh, thank you. All right. If it's not too much trouble, I'm happy to, of course, go my own way. But thank you.
I shall send you back to Gwyn, to Justine, to Mina.
Perhaps Justine would be best.
Okay. Okay.
Gwyn has taken. She has gone to. Well, I'm not sure where she has gone, but she can contact us if she needs, if she wants to. And I think I would like to give her that time if she needs it. You know.
Of course, of course. Well, it has been a delight, and thank you for the lovely gifts.
You are welcome.
And she wheels her chair, moves back. The automaton comes and gently pulls your chair back for you to get up.
Okay.
With a wave of her hands and a brief flash of light, you find yourself standing beside Justine in Josephine Gautier's workshop.
Oh shit! Probably scared the shit out of them.
Now, it's not our personal private workshop. This is the one in the back of the shop.
Okay, so I'm not going to get incinerated by
Yes.
wards.
Okay. So, and they both turn like,
Hello.
Oh my god! How did you get here?
Sylvia, you do not know magic of that sphere.
No, I don't. But Moraine, the Lady of the Forest, does. And,
okay, that
hello.
of course. Oh yeah, of course. That makes perfect sense.
How
Perfect.
did it go?
Well, yeah, she I'm gonna catch you like so well, Melisande has gone back to Arcadia. But yeah, I think we need to meet as a party. I need to talk to all of you. Basically, the worms that Mina faced. The Dragon's Awakening. They are linked, and we have very serious problems coming. I think. Yes. So I need to talk to all of you about it. But sorry, I'm very dizzy after that spell. I was. I managed to not be sick, but yeah. So I think, yeah, we are in trouble, all of us.
It's quite a considerable distance she sent you.
Yeah, it's just casual wave of her hand as she does. So yeah.
Her friend has power.
Wow. So you do you hang out with the with in the workshop with the magic nerds for a few hours while they're working away?
I'm just gonna
I think Justine, to be honest, I think Justine, after what she heard, I think she would just want to go home with Sylvia and ask her more. Because I don't think she'd be able to like work away like nothing happened, because Justine knows
You did
like,
get a couple of good solid hours of work in. You got at least maybe 1.5, 2 hours of work in with Josephine, okay?
And I'm sure Josephine also understands that if an elf says if an elf is concerned, then we're fucked.
Yeah.
Like
So you guys head back to Montmartre to your accommodation, and you're literally just in the door when you hear knocking on the door, and you're come in, and Aminata actually walks in.
Oh.
And they're like, I know you've been busy. We've all been busy today, but here, Justine, I got this for you, and hands you a vial. It is a standard healing tincture.
thank you. I'm going to hug Aminata.
Yes. Okay.
And I'm gonna heal. I'm gonna heal.
So we will say that you guys can
What
all
a great gift.
Yeah, you can all meet up and well,
Sylvia
look, in fair, Aminata has zero magic. Well, they have a couple of cantrips. That's it, So yeah, and actually, even standard healing tinctures are not easy to get in Paris. So yeah, you spend the rest of the afternoon, the evening. You all meet up. And you're healing them, telling them what Moraine said, and I think that is a perfect place to pause in our story. So, thank you all for joining us. Sorry again for the tech problems at the start. I hope you had a fun night. I know we certainly did. And we shall see you all next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. So, good night, all. Bye.